Hello, welcome to Pop the Keeg. My name is Brian, this is Vic, that's Natasha. We are a cocktail of all things nerdy, just for you. And here we have the Blue Ingram. Now, what I actually did, I took Blue Powerade and I put 3 different liquors in each of the glasses, so we don't know which one it is. In honor of the game Destiny, we call it the Blue Ingram. So I have no idea what I'm drinking right now because I kind of mixed them up. So, cheers. Oh, and that's vodka. I put too much vodka.
Well, it looks like Brian got the worst of it.
But I got Crown in mine. I feel like
I got vodka.
I love Crown, so
with a little bit of fizz.
That really I think I put ginger ale in yours. I just got straight up vodka. That was great.
Nice.
All right,
Vodka Powerade.
Anywho, man. Okay. Anywho, this is our Day of the D with our discussion. What is our discussion? Because I can't talk right now.
specifically buy to play DLC.
Okay.
So I know right off the top of our heads, we are hugely involved in Destiny, so we're highly looking forward to the Taken King. But it now has a higher price tag of $40, whereas the previous 2 DLCs, House of Wolves and The Dark Below, were $20.
Yes.
How do we feel about, let's say about that specifically?
About the DLC for Destiny?
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty ballsy move for them to make it $40. I'm very curious as to see what kind of content is going to be in the DLC. They've given us like tidbits here and there, and that everybody has new subclasses. There's going to be a new raid, skins, all that good stuff. But I wonder if that's going to warrant, paying $40.
Yeah, I think so. Like, the price is steep, especially for like console gamers. I don't think they've ever seen a price of $40 for like a DLC at all, ever. And like, in a history of like console gaming, that's really steep. $40 when the previous 2 DLCs were $20 a pop.
Yeah, so
and then the game itself of $60.
Yeah, and
this is essentially
so you're really investing a lot of money into Destiny, and if you're already knee deep in these 2 expansions, then you're gonna go for the Taken King. Like, there's no way you can miss out.
Yeah.
But I think like the price is steep, and a lot of console gamers would agree.
I feel like the only reason I would pay the $40 for the Taken King is because of the fact that I am so well invested in the game itself. Like, if, say, we got Destiny and it was an okay game when it came out, and then the Taken King came out as the first DLC with the price tag of $40, would you pay $40?
I think everybody would have been super, super hesitant if they aren't already, but I don't think it would have made such an impact, and people wouldn't have really much invested in $40 for DLC right off the bat of that like price tag.
And this is
not at all.
And you compare it to, say, Batman, where you're paying $40 but for the season pass.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So you're getting everything.
Yeah, you're
for
guaranteed
$40.
everything.
Yeah, and this is just for console gaming. For online gaming, like for PCs, World of Warcraft is probably the most infamous game when it comes to DLC. With like these
because you're paying for the year to play the game.
Yeah, it's a subscription, so it's like essentially, how much is it a year?
$160.
Like $160 a year, plus whatever DLC they come out with, and it's like $30 a pop.
Or more. I think 35, 40.
More or less.
Jeez.
So these World of Warcraft players, they're used to investing a lot of money.
But they're so well invested in the game. You know what I mean? So they're like,
those are
screw it, might as
years
well.
of investments. You compare that situation, but especially when you talk about mass console players, this is fairly new territory. Not new territory in DLC, but of this degree. What do you feel like constitutes a worth it DLC? Like, do you feel like most of them are just fillers? Like, it's just costumes?
Well, with with certain DLC, there is just like there's skins, there's weapons.
Yeah, I feel like it has like a big factor that plays is what kind of game you have a DLC for, like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Everyone looks forward to the DLCs mainly for that was new map packs.
Yeah.
For multiplayer, because everyone cared about Call of Duty just for the multiplayer. So you get map packs, and then maybe
myself included,
some new weapons. The skins on the weapons, yeah, it's cool. It doesn't do anything, but it just makes your weapon look cool. But the main thing was the map pack, like new maps to, give them new spice on the multiplayer experience. But for Destiny, which is it's a first-person shooter, slash
RPG element,
everything.
Slash
and I think it's opening this new door to like kind of ease in, like get people used to like, hey, this is this type of game. You're gonna have to start getting used to like DLCs of this caliber. And I think Taken King has a lot of content in it, where I think it would be worth the $40. Not only because I'm already invested in Destiny like fully, but everything they've released so far, I think it's well worth it.
Okay.
Do you ever feel like you would draw the line at some point?
Yeah, I would. I mean, if the next DLC came out after Taken King and it's called the larger Stepfather Forest,
only on Xbox One,
$60.
Yeah, and then it was like $60. I'd be like, okay, because
well, I don't mean necessarily price too. Like, sure, price is obviously always going to be a factor, but do you feel like almost the content would be waning at some point as far as adding to the game?
I'm done with my drink, by the way. It was very good.
So much for
I can't feel anything inside.
Yeah, like a couple minutes before we started shooting, she was like, okay, sip it, because we want it to last the whole video. And that
obviously it did not last through the video.
So
he'll be feeling great afterwards. What's our opinion on paying for endings?
That leaves a bitter taste in everybody's mouth.
Especially Brian's.
Yeah.
After all that
vodka. No, I feel that's like...
Like, do you feel like that's just
I think that's somewhat insulting, like, for the gamer. Because not only did I pay for the game, like Dead Space 3, there was DLC for the ending of the game. I'm going to spend $60 to play this game, and then I have to pay for the ending? This guy was...
It's unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that makes no sense. Not only that,
Wicked's not a fan.
Either that or, like, alternate endings, like what Mass Effect did with their last game.
Which is horrible.
The ending was odd. But I feel like they should have left it at that. They would have, like, just stay your ground. And then everybody was, like, in a huge outrage. And then they're like, okay, we'll make an alternate ending. So, I don't know.
I was like, just kidding, guys.
He's like, JK, this is it.
JK, we messed up.
Yeah. So, it was, like, this whole big thing. So, like, paying for alternate endings, or endings in general, is...
kind of absurd,
It's absurd, and I feel like it's disrespectful to the gamer.
Yeah.
So... But that's my opinion. I don't know.
I've done the story thus far, but now I have to pay for an ending? Like...
It leaves a bitter taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute.
Yeah.
Cannot process. Do you... I know that I have people of the opinion that feel like, and they've used this specific examples, like you go to buy a burger and you start out with the buns, which is your main game, and then you literally have to buy all of the content for your game. So you're just starting out with the bun, then you have to buy the patty, and then you have to buy the lettuce, the tomatoes, and the pickles all separately.
Yeah.
And it ends up being this huge investment when you almost feel like it could have been done in, say, fewer DLCs or in the game itself.
I feel like a lot of companies and a lot of game developers, they rely on DLC to make their game what it should have been when it first came out.
Yeah.
And it's a little... because
just for the fact that
do you
they don't
feel
want
like
it to just
the popularity,
be all that right from the get-go.
Do you feel like the popularity of DLC has now affected the quality of
Yeah.
games.
I would say so.
I'd say stories,
Because back before the internet played a role in all of this gaming, like for like PlayStation 2, the developer had to create a 100% complete game,
Yeah.
and once it was out, it was out.
And be perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, there's
like,
no patches,
this is
there's
it.
no
patches,
updates.
no nothing.
Enjoy this beautiful game.
And then
That's it.
And that's it. Now there's developers that are, I don't want to say any names.
Capcom.
I didn't want to say any names. That'll send out a game to the population, and then
to try and get it out as fast as possible and make a profit, and then shit,
and then patch it up.
Yeah, oh shit, we missed that. Okay, just patch it later.
Rocksteady.
And just like the type of games people are seeking nowadays. It's like with all this technology, like there's just massive games coming out, and like it would make sense. You have different styles of DLCs, you know, like for Batman, you get the season pass. So that's kind of like an already all out there type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
You buy Batman, you get the season pass. That's where it is.
And you're set.
And I'm sure like later on you'll get some.
I feel like
other
there is a
extras.
place for DLC.
But for like a game like, you know, coming back to Destiny,
Yeah.
it's something to keep the game alive and keep it going.
Yeah, I feel like you. That was another thing with Destiny. It was like the season pass, but it was only for the first 2 DLCs.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So I feel like obviously DLC is going to be here to stay. I feel like it does have
it's a big moneymaker. So
Yeah,
it's-
it has
it's
a place
obviously-
in the industry, you
Yeah.
know, for profit, but at the same time, I feel like it's teetering on a fine line, and I feel like a lot of consumers do want to see their complete games and have DLC feel like extra. Not DLC is supposed to be kind of like your extra content.
It shouldn't replace.
It shouldn't be. Oh, I feel like that should have been in the game from the beginning. Like that was a missing piece of the game.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I feel like it's like they almost chop the game up, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're just going to save that for
Yeah.
DLC."
Yeah, DLC
Yeah.
should be like an addition. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to have this in order to
To
enjoy the original
Yeah.
game. Like The Last of Us. Holy shit, that game is awesome.
'cause it was-
number one fanboy.
I love that. I am a huge Naughty Dog fan. I'm just going to throw that out there. And The Last of Us is a perfect example because it was one game. They tossed it out. It was beautiful.
I'd have to say it was
And
one
then-
of the first games that I actually got like emotionally attached to the characters,
Yeah.
and I was just like in it to win it.
And then
whole
the
game.
the DLC was just an addition to the story. Like it was just like kind of like what happened to Ellie before she met Joel. And
just in case you were wondering.
yeah, just in case you were wondering,
Yeah.
this is how she,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, this is how she got bitten and she got infected and all that good stuff. So I mean, I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was a great game, great DLC. I would have loved to pay. Like I would pay that price, you know. So
Absolutely. So, final thoughts.
DLC is here to stay, but I hope developers take a turn and
Take a
kinda-
big step back.
and literally no and really just like it has to be an addition to the original
Yeah.
piece.
I
Like
agree.
it can't be.
I think that ultimately DLC has to be that extra to an already awesome game.
Yeah,
Like instead of turning DLCs into like sequels.
patchwork.
You know, like instead of coming out with Destiny 2, they're just doing like the Taken King DLC. But
Yeah,
ultimately, yeah, I
It's a
think
bi- it's
it
a-
should really enhance the game and help it more than just, oh well, this wasn't already it wasn't a complete game. That's why we have DLCs coming out.
Yeah.
No.
It shouldn't be an excuse to be mediocre.
Yeah.
yeah.
So please like, subscribe, follow, share, love
Please.
us, worship us.
Please.
We are Pop the Keeg, and this was our Day of the D, and we'll see you next time.